Shalom, brothers.
Shalom.
Brother Kamal.
Brother Shalom.
First thing first, I'm going to give all praise to Yahawah,
Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, qadash.
double honors, apostles, elders, are true from GMS. Blessings to Akim out there preaching his word will hold our true sincerity. And blessings to 144,000 and 1/3, the first fruits kingdom of heaven, the house of David, the Yahawah. And shalom to you, brothers. Confusion faces are speaking in different tongues, looking at different nations. Shalom, brothers. So today, we wanted to come out with this sit down, and we wanted to go into the day of the Lord, because there's a lot of this was inspired by the Apostle of Bar, so I wanted to give it land back on this one. Basically, we know when you were really in this truth is the secrets and the secrets go to the prophets and servants. And so, the brothers, some wacky Christians, different things of that nature, pastors, they think they know the real truth, but the Christian church is really not telling them what's really, really going on and how these breakdowns of this Bible are really going into. Because only the elect is going to get the true knowledge of the situation. And Lord willing, that's why we feel blessed, because we're a hopeful elect to know these breakdowns properly. My first precept I wanted to get into was Amos 5:18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahawah. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahawah is darkness and not light." So when you're going into that right there, that's basically, contrary to belief in what the Christian church say. So I've been to church before. A lot of us brothers did before we got in the truth. We were so-called Christians, and we was, going into things. One of the key things that you notice from the Christian church is that basically, all you have to do is just accept the Lord, so-called Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahawashi, Lord and Savior, for the blood of your sins, and then you're saved. And so that's the whole key to the thing. Well, I'm saved, baby. I have nothing to worry about. Well, see, when you get into this, when you actually get into the real breakdown of the truth, where do you save from? You see, they never get into it. That's a very interesting question. It's like, where do you save from? You're saying you save, but do you really know what you save from? Now, when you really get into these breakdowns, understand this truth, you're not saved until the end of the situation, until Yahawashi, what they call Jesus Christ, come down and save you. Other than that, you out here just as hopefully you be saved. That's why he calls the prisoners of hope. That's right, brother?
No, read it. I just want you to read that again.
Yeah, so Amos 5:18, it says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahawah. To what end is it for you?"
Now, just to land back on what the brother is trying to say, first of all, we got to get into etymology of words. Look up the word woe, and what does woe mean? And I'm going to bring this up for you. It says, woe means great sorrow or distress, misery, sadness, unhappiness, heartache, heartbreak, desolation, despair, dejection, depression, gloom, melancholy. These are all words of destruction. These are all words of negativity. This is like basically, so woe unto you. When it says woe unto you, like, no, who are you to hope or want for the day of the Lord to come, because you don't even know if you're being saved. For you to sit here and go, oh, yeah, man, I can't wait till the Most High come back and destroy this place. Yeah, the men of the Lord, we are definitely hopeful, and we want that to happen, but we are still, just like the word hopeful, we are hopeful that we will be saved. So woe unto them that wish for the day of the Lord, that want the day of the Lord to come, man. It's one of those things where man, just think about it. You can't even fathom the kind of destruction that's about to come upon this place, man. Right. There's a I think it's in Joel or Isaiah, but it's basically a precept basically talking about it's going to be worse than Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? It will be worse than Jacob's trouble when the day of the Lord comes, man. Go ahead, finish reading that.
And it says, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Now that's actually, when you go to the first part, it says, woe to desire the day. So the Christian church believe that, Yahawah or Yahawashi is this all-loving, saving entities, and we're all going to be saved in peace and glory when the Most High, you can bring out, if anything, I can bring it out.
No, this precept right.
Okay. Well, basically, in general, what we're getting into is the Christian church is, hoping and praying and cannot wait for the day of the Lord. When the day of the Lord is actually destruction. When he went into the word woe, destruction, misery, calamity, just negativity. And so that's basically like saying that a slaughterhouse. Let's just say the word slaughter. Everybody didn't know that the word slaughter means to kill and destroy. So they're like, yeah, we're ready for this great slaughter, but don't understand what slaughter means. When it says woe, and then also the day of the Lord is destruction, they don't know that the actual the day of the Lord is not peace at all. It's darkness and not light. So you're actually hoping and praying for a speeding of a day to come that's actually your destruction if you're not actually part of the elect. And that's just crazy, because now it's like being a pig. And it's like, yeah, I can't wait to go to the slaughter. It's going to be wonderful. That's how they're looking at it. And it's actually one of the worst situations you can ever be in as a pig. That's how they're pretty much going into it.
Well,
Yeah,
I got a precept. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 19. Through the wrath of the Lord Yahawah of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. And this is basically, it says the wrath of the Lord Yahawah. The wrath of Yahawah is going to make the land darken. So, because when Yahawashi and the saints, when they come back, you know, it's going to be nothing but slaughter out here. Like it says, everyone will be found and thrust through. I mean, if you're not part of the elect or the 1/3, you 10 times out of 10, you're going to go. And you got to think about, it says that, it says hundreds of thousands or hundreds of thousands of the saints that are going to be coming back with them. And they're all going to have in their heads, let's go to war. Remember, Yahawah is a man of war. He's sending his son back to cleanse the earth. You know, and in the Christian church, they're always talking about the rapture or to being taken. It says it's going to be like in the days of Noah. Now, remember, in the days of Noah, only 8 people survived the flood. So anyone that was taken was killed. So you really want to be left behind. You want to endure to the end. And the Christian church is basically leading people to the slaughter. And we already know everybody is going to have their judgment. Everybody is already written in the book. There's people already written in the book of life, and there's also people going to be written in that book of death. Basically, everybody that got to go is supposed to go. And if you're an Edomite or anybody that does endure to the end, that's only because you're going to be put under subjection unto the children of Israel. The Biafra will die. You already know in the kingdom it says that Esau will basically serve 1,000 years of slavery, you know what I mean, and then basically extinct, you know. And these things, this is like, so when people sit here and talk about I'm saved, I believe that Jesus died on the cross for me, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus, but then you go and you keep doing your wickedness, and you keep doing the same sins and transgressions against the Most High, you know, you got to expect the Most High. If he's an austere man and a man of war, you got to expect him to be a brute. A man of war, you're already thinking he's a brute. He's a brute. He's very stern. He knows exactly what he wants and how he wants it. And if you're not abiding by his laws, statutes, and commandments, you are literally writing yourself in basically the book of death. You're going to die, man.
Yeah, it's like when you go into like, see, a lot of brothers don't really know. Like, for example, so what he means by brute, he's going into that actual like brute and state of mind of like, you know, strong and really, really rough and aggressive.
Right, sure. I mean,
because brute also goes back in
also said austere man.
Yeah, stupid, things of that nature, savage and things of that nature. So, but I want to correct that because most brothers would know.
It's like it. When I say brute, I'm talking about upright man, very stern. If anybody's ever been in military school, JRTC growing up, or even the military, some brothers might have been in the military, got out. You see the structure of how things are. You see how everything has a time limit. Everything has a plan. Everything is planned out. The Most High is stern. He knows exactly what he wants, how he wants it. It says, gird yourself up. You know, just that right there, gird yourself up. That's letting you know, man. Like, in lack of a better word, toughen up. Get your shit together. Get right. You better get right. You know, don't complain. Stop bitching. You know, so, woe unto those, man, who wish for the day of the Lord, man. I got another precept. I'm going to keep going with that. This is the book of Joel, chapter 1, verse 15. It says, alas, for the day of the Lord Yahawah is at hand, and as the destruction from the Almighty shall it come. It's letting you know right there. There you go. The day of the Lord, and then destruction. So everybody who's praying for the Most High to come back faster, that's what. Just understand, woe unto you. You understand what you're asking for. Yeah. You got to understand what you're asking for. It says destruction. You know, we got that precept where it says everyone is found will be thrust through. That's also for Jacob's trouble. But that's the beginning of everything.
Okay, I'm gonna get that one. But I mean, let me go over because like we going into the woe to the ones who actually want the day of the Lord. But the reason why the Christian church, and they got to get out of that Christian doctrine, is because, you know, they're not even doing the right things, and they're going off and don't know the proper name, what they're really doing. And the most important negative bounce back of the Christian church is a lot of pastors are teaching that the laws are done away with, to avoid the day of the Lord, to be saved through the tribulation and destruction. That's the whole goal. The elect is going to be saved out of it. And so by being saved out of it, the things you have to do? So like this Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 is, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And that right there alone, if you keeping the commandments best you can, not every brother can keep all of them, so we rehearse the righteous acts. Keeping the feast days, the Sabbaths, you're doing the best you can. You know, you actually, you know, trying to go about use these scriptures and use them as wisdom and stability of thy times, especially now and also at those later times as well. By doing those things properly and to the best of your ability will get you to avoid those woes and destruction. But the Christian church is not, hopefully, exactly. So the Christian church is not doing those things, and they believe that the laws are done away with. So they just basically setting themselves up for the slaughter, asking for the slaughter.
Well, just getting into the understanding of the Christian church or Catholicism, or Muslims or anything, everything is based off of money and everybody being accepted. And we all know that the Most High is all about separatism. You know, He's all about separate, putting people here, these people here, these people here, and these are the roles and these are the things that you were here for. And the whole reason why Muslims and Christians and Catholics were created is to be able to put everybody into a box versus just having one set people put into a box. Everybody, they're promising everybody salvation. And if you read it with the Most High's words, He only promised one group of people salvation. And right there, we already know, man, the world was given in the hands of the wicked. Who controls the world? The wicked. So all these religions were put together to lead people astray, man. To lead people to the slaughter. To have souls going a different way. And also to make people feel good about themselves. Because if you read the Bible, if you're not Israelite, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to be like, yo, what the fuck is the point? What is the point? I'm here, this is basically my kingdom, and then basically when it all go down, I'm almost guaranteed to die. And if I'm not dying, I'm going to be bringing all my riches and all my goods into the kingdom of heaven so that the Israelites can have it all. So if you're not an Israelite, you know what I'm saying, you live it up right now. Do what you got to do. Just live it up right now. You can kind of go back into Joel, bro.
Yeah, I was in, you was going into, you know, for the money, but that's crazy because Zephaniah 1:18 says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And see, that's crazy because the first, like you said, it's about devoured by the fire. That's the second death. That's the lake of fire by itself with the nuclear missiles. But the gold and the silver, they're going to try to be using money and try to think it's going to work out. It ain't going to be important in that day. At the end of the day, though, this whole thing is going into the fact that the day of the Lord is not what they think it is. It's actually, when you actually read the scriptures, I'm a little confused on how, you know, that this particular word is not really kind of read that well because it's repetitive on destruction. Constant destruction. The day of the Lord, destruction, bring not peace, destruction, fire, if it's not kindled, fire, slaughtered by many. I mean, it's
indignation, righteous anger. Like, everything is definitely like destruction. Everybody's we thrust through. Jacob's trouble. Everyone. It says, what's that precept? It says that bodies will be everywhere, like the dung of the earth. Like, everything is leading up to destruction, and everybody's out here happy-go-lucky, like nothing the hell happened. You know, you can basically just turn the TV on and see the prophecies unfolding right in front of you, man. And, you know, race wars are about to happen. Jacob's trouble is definitely on the way. World War III is about to happen. There's like earthquakes in diverse places, tsunamis, floods, pestilence. There's new viruses they're talking about. They got all types of stuff going on right now, man. And you can literally read the Bible and see that all this was foretold. So when it talks about destruction and all these passages, well, mind you, we already know these passages are paid off. They have to follow a certain script, and if they don't, they're not going to get their government grants, and they're not going to get their tax exemptions. So I mean, everything is set up, man, the way it is. But always got to understand that the Father controls the left hand and right hand. So everything is like this. I look at it like this. He's a great playwright who wrote a movie, wrote a play, and he's just playing it out like, all right, action. And he's just watching. He's probably sitting up there. Remember, it says the earth is like his footstool. So he's probably just sitting up there watching. And you're like, I already know what you're about to do. Yep. I knew that was going to happen. Oh, you'll blow that trumpet right there. That's going to happen. This is going to happen. Everything happens for a reason, man. I mean, every single thing happens for a reason. So, you know, the day of the Lord, man, it must come to pass, man. But I will tell you, brothers, man, and a lot of you brothers in the truth already are trying, you know, but try to have for faith boosting, just, you know, keep enduring, keep trying, just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. You know, what's that precept? I don't want to mess it up, but if you fall 7 times, is it fall 6 times, get up to 7 times, or fall 7 times, get up to 8 times? But it's basically letting you know that a righteous man, you're going to fall, you're going to stumble, you're going to mess up. But you know, but a righteous man also knows what he did wrong. He repents. You know, and turns his back on his sin, puts away that old man, that old flesh, and he tries to move forward, man. Move forward in righteousness and do the right things, man. You know, as long as you're doing the work, you're being brotherly, man, you're trying to follow law, statutes, commandments, to the best of your abilities, man, that's the best you could possibly do, man. That's the best you could possibly do. Because other than that, if you're not just following those instructions, you know, you're basically leaning on your own understanding. And if you're leaning on your own understanding, you're basically like I said, you're basically writing yourself into destruction. Because you can't lean on your own understanding. You got to do what the Most High asks you to do. Like some of y'all got kids. You tell your son or your daughter, yo, at 3 o'clock, you better make sure you hear and make sure you do this and do that. And they not there at that time and they didn't do this and do that. You're going to chastise them. You're going to be upset. You're going to be angry. And the Most High is angry with the word. He's angry with his people. You know, I know it's another precept, basically meaning like he's going to judge his own people. What do you think is going to happen to the rest of the world? Just basically paraphrasing.
I find that precept is Proverbs 24:16. It says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and rises up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief."
But the wicked shall fall into mischief, man. And you know, this world is nothing but wicked, man. There's wickedness everywhere, and that's why the Most High is coming back to cleanse the earth, man. Just like He flooded the earth and cleansed it, He's going to cleanse it with fire, man. And He's using the devices of these wicked people to kill each other. They're going to killing each other, wiping each other out, you know. And then He's going to come through and then cleanse the remaining the rest of it, man. We already know that a great battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, you know, when that all goes down, Yahawashi, man, everything's going to be done, man. The kingdom of heaven will be established, and then, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. I just, Lord willing, hopefully I'm just one of those men that are saved or endure. Or if I do have to die, I die a martyr. And I rise up. It's just the dead of Yahawah rise first. Hopefully, if I have to die, I want to die as a martyr for the Most High. You know?
I'm going to go to Ezekiel 9:4. It says, "And the Lord Yahawah said unto him," speaking to the angels, he said, "Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." Now these men right here, the Lord willing, be one of those men that put together a mark, because that mark is going into a mark of exemption to be able to avoid the day of the Lord and all the tribulations that's going on. You got famine, you got pestilence, you got earthquakes, you got Esau coming in with his troops and the martial law. You got the beasts coming around eating people up, different things of that nature. You got Leviathan. It's going to be, you got chariots. It's all hell going to break and loose out of the situation. And so we're doing this work to be one of those men with that mark of exemption. That way, you know, so we can avoid and be delivered out of that particular tribulation. Let me go into Matthew, and by sighing and crying for the abomination done in the midst thereof, the Christian church and all the different Jehovah's Witness, Muslims, or anybody, you're not sighing and crying for all the things that's happening out here, sodomite behavior, you know, thieves and adultery, idolatry, all different things. We're actually, upset and angry about, because the scripture says hate the evil and love the good. And we're definitely that during that situation. So we want that mark of exemption in order to, to be able to endure and get out and get saved out of that tribulation.
And most of these religions, man, are based off of willful sin. They give you this veil pulled over your eyes, make you believe that you're saved or you're okay, all will be forgiven, and then basically give you liberty to just do what the hell you want. And that's technically satanic, because there's a satanic Bible from Alistair Crowley. It was like, do what thou wilt. And most of these religions are all about do what you do, you'll be okay, as long as you believe that Jesus died for you, or as long as you believe that Allah is over you, you'll be good in the end. You'll get your 40 virgins and you'll be saved and you'll go to heaven. Like, that's all a bunch of folly and bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's all bullshit. Everybody says they love God. Everybody says they're followers of God or the Most High, but they don't even read His words.
Or fear Him.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How you not fear the Most High? It's like, it says, don't fear those that can kill the flesh. Fear the one who can take your soul. Kill the soul, man. Like, the Most High is the only one who can do that, because all flesh shall perish. Well, not all, but the souls always go back to Him. So let's say your soul goes back to the Most High and He doesn't want to reincarnate you. You're like, nah, you got to go for real. And your soul's gone. You're done. There is no coming back from nothing, man. None.
God, the precept I got actually. What you're going into is the Sirach 5 and 5. It says, concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. And say not His mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from Him, and His indignation will be set upon the sinners. So that's what he's going into. So like most people, think the laws are done away with. They got no fear. They go to so-called church and pray and do all this stuff. They think they got what Pastor Gabar said that was really crazy today. He said he was like that he have a zeal for the Lord. That's really true. There's a lot of zeal for the Lord, but don't really have the knowledge to back it up. So they have a zeal, but lack the knowledge of the breakdowns. What's really going on. That's why it's woe unto them that wish for the day of the Lord, because he really knew what was going on, you know what I'm saying? Because it even said the elect will be affrighted. So even if you're actually part of the elect, even the elect will be frightened. Now, you know what I mean? They're gonna be a little nervous and a little snaps when the day of the Lord comes. It's gonna be freaky. It's gonna be a time I've never seen before. Even the elect will be frightened. And you're hoping and praying for that day to come? That's insane. That's insane.
I got something for you.
Go ahead.
This is Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, ye, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahawah of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
See, that's crazy. Like, that's insane, because now you got all these what do you call it, wacky techie Christians, you know what I'm saying? They just, they're just sin upon sin, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's cool, you'll pray, and then you think it's sweet, and then you'll keep doing the things. Like, for example, most people are aware of the Israelites' doctrine, and so they will go into their dietary laws, really a simple one, and would say you shouldn't be eating pork, shrimp, and lobster. That's, abominable foods, which is also disgusting anyway. Why would you want to consume that? But at the end of the day, though, telling them what that is and it's going off and it's not what you're supposed to be eating, what would Jake say? Stiff-necked and stubborn, any lack of fear of the Lord. Well, you know what I mean? I hear you and all, but, I ain't about to give up my shrimp, dog. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to give up my shrimp. So that's just basically right there equal. I don't fear the Lord. He can fall back. I'm going to still eat my shrimp. That's why Sirach 5 goes into that, where it says, be not without fear to add sin upon sin. It's like you don't fear the Lord, so like if you ain't scared of your partner, you ain't gonna give a damn what he said. Yo, don't go down the street. All right, Dad, whatever, and go down the street playing sweet. Like that's like what's going on.
Yo, I got another one. Because if this don't put fear upon you, there's something wrong with you. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord Yahawah will come as a thief in the night. So it's already letting you know it's going to come swiftly and quick. Like, you ain't going to know what's going on. You're going to be marrying. What it says, like, they're going to be like in the days of Noah. They're going to be marrying, happy, partying, doing whatever they want to do. And out of nowhere, the day of the Lord is going to come. Boom. It says, but the day of the Lord Yahawah will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And that great noise is when ICB and nuclear missiles go boom, and everything's over. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Now, it says the elements will melt. You got to think about the everybody know about the table of contents, the elements. Everything is going to melt. You know how hot it has to be for everything to melt? Do you understand how hot it has to be for everything to melt? And then it says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So it's letting you know that everything, Great Babylon and everything, is going to be burned up and consumed. Everything will be consumed.
It's like he was getting into. It says Matthew 24:37. It says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. And so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Just like he was getting into. So it's going to be the exact same way. Everybody going to be chilling, thinking everything cool. Certain parts is going, because it's going to be tribulation during those times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like how brother was going into the fact that it's going to be like gated off communities, because it's going to be definitely messed up out here for sure.
Well, you mean the mark of the beast is going to be already going to be out here. You brought this out earlier. The mark of the beast is going to be out here. They're going to have martial law. And there's going to be a draft. World War III, I'm telling you this right now. When it all go down, this is how they're going to start shipping a lot of people. This is what I believe. World War III is going to go down. America has its armies stretched across the world. We don't have enough. Well, let me not say Salaki. Let me not say we. That I don't prescribe to America. But America has its troops spread across basically the four corners of the earth, fighting wars in almost every country. Eventually, it's going to get to the point when it all starts to go down. They don't have enough men. It's going to be a mandatory draft. They're probably going to do like an EMP or something's going to happen. It's going to be a mandatory draft where if you don't go, and everybody that gets drafted is going to get the chip. This is how they're going to chip people. It's going to be like great famines. You got to get chipped if you want food, you want to work, you want to do that. Oh, by the way, also, if you want to work, go to the military, we're going to chip you anyway. Also, we're going to do a draft. We're going to chip you just to put you in the draft. And if you don't go into the draft or take the chip, you're going to be locked up in prisons and beheaded and all the crazy things that are going on. Not to mention race wars. We talked about famine. It says that there will be beasts released on the earth that you have never seen before. Like, I'm pretty sure Esau, you already see these movies called like Splice and all that. Esau already creating these freaking creatures and shit, and they're going to be released on the earth. But don't forget, it says that the Most High created the smith to make these weapons, just like they created the smiths to make these animals and all types of stuff. All of this is from his doing. Man has no understanding of anything. All this crazy stuff is going to be going on, man. And literally, it's going to be woe unto those who wish for the day of the Lord, because literally after all of that, and then Yahawashi comes back with the saints, and then starts destroying even more. Yo, it's going to be so much chaos and destruction out here. It's almost to the point, like, just talking about it is making me a little fearful. It's like, yo, dog, like, what if you didn't do enough? What if I could have put up another video? What if I could have went out a couple more times? What if I could have been a little more brotherly? What if I could have just, should have never did that. I knew I was wrong. And that's why the brother said, don't put sin upon sin. All the things you're thinking about right now, you got to go, damn. Let me be a little more prudent. Let me be a little more circumspect. Let me make sure I understand these things. Let me make sure I'm enduring. Let me make sure I'm putting in the right balance between work, which is basically work of the Most High, and play, which is your worldly life. You got to understand, like, if you're not having a good balance, and some of you brothers don't have good balances. I didn't always have the best balance. I'll be the first to say, I am not perfect. You know, I understand in the Bible it says there's a way of being perfect, doing the work in a certain way is perfect. But in the carnal flesh, I am not perfect. To Esau saying is, I am not perfect. You know, and I fall to the wayside all the time. But as long as I, repent and put away the old man, and I try to endure, hopefully the Most High, elects me, and I'll be seen on one of them chariots, man. I'll be seen on one of them chariots.
That's actually because when you going into when you're going into those chariots, remember, this whole video was on the day of the Lord and how bad it's going to be, and woe to the ones who actually, prey upon it. Because when you actually doing the whole conclusion of the matter, fear the Most High and that you keep His commandments. This is Isaiah 26 and 20. The whole point is, what's the script too? What's that? So, 26 and 20, Isaiah, it says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed." That's the whole point of this thing. When you're doing the right thing, Lord willing, Abaratasa, we're actually part of that number. We'll be able to enter into those chambers, which is so-called UFO, with the chariots of the Most High, the chariots of the Most High. So, you know what I mean? That'd be how the salvation would be there. Now, those people that's going to be elected, Lord willing, be one of those men, we'll be up there, and then all the calamities and all the things that's going wrong, we'll be able to have a window seat, like a movie theater, to be able to see it happen. And we'll be rejoicing in the calamity of our enemies. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the situation. So woe to the people who choose it for the day of the Lord, because it's not what they think it is. It's peace and all loving things. It's not going down like that. So you rather do the work and hope that you're part of that number, so you can be in those chariots. So when it does happen, you're saved out of it. That's why Matthew 24 and 13 says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." You. What's up, brother? Oh, yeah, hold on. Salaki. Hold on, quick, brother. Yeah, so we want to, so we want to get into,
finish that right there.
Was it the same that should be saved?
Yeah, finish that real quick.
Okay, yeah, so Matthew 24 and 13 says, "But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved." And so by enduring this whole situation, keeping the commandments, keeping the feast days and different things of that nature, and trying the best of your ability to rehearse the righteous acts, those are the ones that endure, will be utterly saved throughout the tribulation, that the so-called Christians will actually, pray for the day of the Lord, because that day of the Lord is going to be a vicious destruction situation.
For all of those Christians, Catholics, Muslims, all those people who believe that they can just be handed the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, and not have to work or do anything for it, you have something coming towards you. If you have no fear of the Most High, you going all left and right, you living in the wickedness, you carnal, you putting pleasures upon this earth and not putting pleasures up in heaven, guess what? You will die. And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, is doing the work, putting up videos, and enduring. Shout out to all you Confusion of Faces brothers, living in different nations, but also doing the work and waking up. Shalom.
Shalom, brothers.